McMorrin.
Diolch yn fawr, Madam Lloyd. Can I congratulate my honourable friend for bringing this debate here today, and can I also echo what others have said about our colleagues Paul Flynn and Stefan Lewis. I know Paul was a radical and reforming, brilliant politician who fought very hard for his causes and was a great advocate for devolution. As I prepared for this today, I wondered as to its purpose. A general debate about Wales on any given subject, a token gesture for our country as we approach our national bank holiday, MPs one by one standing to raise concerns on issues on anything relating to our country, but with no obligation for anyone to respond or act on anything raised. As a devolutionist, I'm very happy that the majority of our work is carried out by the Welsh Parliament in Cardiff Bay, with our Welsh Labour government able to bring forward radical and progressive policies and legislation. But I'm constantly frustrated by this place, misunderstanding devolution, supported by, on the whole, a London-centric media talking as though England was the whole of the UK, whether that's education policy, the NHS, housing or social services, all of which are devolved. But, you know, there should be a place for Welsh MPs to raise issues, to scrutinise and, importantly, to get a response and action. It's one of the frustrating things I find in this place as a Welsh MP, that it's very difficult to get these issues raised with 30 minutes of Welsh questions just every 5 or 6 weeks, just before PMQs. There really isn't a lot of parliamentary time available. And particularly at this time of great constitutional and political upheaval, with us approaching Brexit in a matter of days, we know the impact that either the Prime Minister's deal or no deal will have on our country. And we know that it will hit us in Wales hardest. By the time of the Prime Minister's endlessly postponed meaningful vote on the 12th of March, we will have less than 400 hours until the Article 50 deadline, at which time we'll crash out of the European Union into the unknown unless something is done. And no one can argue that this is in our country's interests. Businesses have for years invested in Wales are now upping and leaving, fed up with the uncertainty and chaos. Ford, Airbus, Sony, Panasonic and Honda, we know these will not be the last, as more companies announce the impact Brexit is having on their businesses, as they take their jobs, their development, their trade elsewhere. I'll give way.
Of interest to the remarks from the Honourable Lady, she's talking about companies upping sticks and leaving Wales. She just read out a list of companies, including Airbus. Has she got any evidence at all to suggest Airbus is reducing any of its operations in Wales at all?
I thank the Honourable Member for his point. I'm talking about the warnings that they're given. Airbus is giving stark warnings. Some are upping and leaving, but in part they will up and leave unless something is done. I'll give way.
Well, the honourable gentleman across the way doesn't appear to have heard the warnings from organisations and businesses across the spectrum. I, in fact, was speaking at Cardiff University the other day, who cited Brexit as one of the factors in them having to issue redundancies in that crucial, brilliant university in our city.
Absolutely, I thank my honourable friend for his excellent point he's just made, but this pattern does not seem to bother our UK government intent on delivering a Brexit, whatever the cost. And that cost will be great, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it will be greatest in Wales, where we are dependent on those jobs and others like them, where we have been at the mercy of Tory government's austerity measures for the past 9 years. And I see the struggle in our public services, in our communities, and for our people that were left bereft following those ruthless Thatcher years and are now again feeling the brunt. Brexit is only set to make that worse. Why, Madam Deputy Speaker, do we in Wales have to put up with this again? In Wales, we are an outward-facing, international country with our own values, our own language, culture and history. We don't want this right-wing Brexit ideology which only harms our communities, our people and services. Because, Madam Deputy Speaker, we know that Brexit, any Brexit, only aids the right. A project driven by the right and for the right. As a progressive, forward-looking Wales, we know that the best deal for us, for our hard-working families, our public services and our businesses is the one we have now as full members of the European Union. I'll give way.
Does the Honourable Lady not recognise that that is not the vision that Wales has? Wales voted to leave by a much greater margin than it voted for the Welsh Assembly.
I thank the Honourable Member for his point. Has he not seen the recent polls where it says that the majority of the Welsh people actually would change their mind? And this isn't what they voted for anyway. But that is why, you know, we should put this back to the people for final ratification, for final confirmation, and for a final say. But, you know, our Secretary of State for Wales has done perilously little to stand up for our country. When I asked him in the Welsh Affairs Committee to name an infrastructure project that he has helped secure during his time as Secretary of State, he could not name one. It was no to rail electrification, no to the tidal lagoon, no to Wilfer Newydd, no to onshore and offshore renewable energy projects. Madam Deputy Speaker, what is this Secretary of State for? What is his purpose? He certainly doesn't stand up for Wales. Instead, Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to see more investment in our country, greater powers being devolved to Wales, and reform of our institutions. I fought for the Senedd back in 1997, and then again for greater powers in 2011 and 2017. And I will continue to fight for more powers and for our country to be better able to govern without being hampered by this Tory government. In fact, I'd like to see Wales's powers equal to that of Scotland at the very least. But what matters is how we use those powers. We regularly see that in order to effect change, we need to go cap in hand to this Tory government. That can't be right. It can't be right that in order for our country to build Wilfer Newydd or a tidal lagoon, we need permission. We need a settlement to enable us to do that in Wales and by the people of Wales. And it can't be right that we're unable to tackle the serious problem of mental health in prisons, as the broken devolution settlement means this is impossible. Justice is not devolved while mental health is. This must be put right. Criminal justice should be devolved to enable us to properly resolve these issues and create a solution that suits us as a country. And it certainly isn't right that air passenger duty is not devolved, where it is to both Scotland and Northern Ireland. These anomalies must be put right. And although this place is in need here of much reform, I agree that the Senedd does need some too. I welcome the Senedd and Election Wales Bill brought forward earlier this month, setting out those exciting opportunities to strengthen our Welsh Assembly, bringing about reform and democracy, lowering the voting age to 16 and introducing more Assembly members. So to finish, Madam Deputy Speaker, reform and change takes time. In Wales, we are proud we can grasp this change. I only wish this place would take some lessons from it. We must look towards the sort of Parliament we want in Wales, and I hope that we wholeheartedly embrace it, creating a positive future for our children. As the historian Gwyneth Williams said, Wales is a process. Wales is an artefact which the Welsh produce. The Welsh make and remake Wales day by day, year by year, generation by generation, if they want to.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's always a pleasure to follow my honourable friend for Cardiff.